Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Semi-Original Guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advance Wars by Web, bringing you another live league game of the day. Today we are playing on Fishu. This is a fog of war matchup with triple base and an airport and some comm towers, folks. Standard fog of war things. And we are joined by Mooji and achesst as our players today. So our CEOs that we picked are Von Bolt and Hawk. Two classic picks from tier 1. Now Hawk will get plus 10% firepower on all of his units. His normal co-power will do 1 damage globally and heal his units by 1, and the super co-power will do 2 damage globally and heal his units by 2. So very effective co-powers, although it does take a very long time for that co-power to charge. So that's the only drawback from Hawk. Now, achesst has decided to play as Von Bolt. So Von Bolt will get plus 10% firepower and defense on all of his units. He does not have access to a co-power, but he does have a super co-power, Machina, which will launch an Area 3 missile to the highest accumulation of value on the map, doing 3 damage and stunning those units for an entire turn, so they will be unable to move. So both COs have their perks. So we're going to see what went down today in the live league. So first few days, folks, we have the standard infantry builds because you got to get the infantry on the field. This is the #1 priority in Advance Wars by Web. Now, both of these players are very highly rated. achesst is a former 1500 player, currently around 13, and Mooji is about the same, close to 1400, I believe. So I would say that the skill level of both of these players is very, very equal. Now, achesst has decided to go in for the recon build, and Mooji has decided to opt out of the recon build and goes immediately for artillery. Purpose of which is most likely to bust open this pipe seam to get the units out to the front line a little bit quicker, which is a valid strategy on this map. achesst decides to go for the strong side artillery, so he's not going to be busting open any pipe seams. The artillery is going to be getting to the front line and going to be doing some combat as quickly as it can. So both players' infantry are now in range of each other, and achesst reveals his infantry to Mooji, who is sitting firmly on a mountain getting massive vision. And achesst brings up his recon to get vision over here, sees that there's a capping infantry, unable to stop the infantry, will have to just sit there and watch it cap the property. There is going to be nothing to stop that from happening. Now, artillery moves forward instead of taking a shot on this pipe seam, which is pretty good. You know, we could take a shot on the pipe seam and, you know, do damage to it, but getting it a little bit forward, I think that's probably a better play at the moment. Now, tank doesn't actually take a shot on the pipe seam either, which is kind of interesting, considering that it could assist in, you know, bursting that pipe seam open like a day sooner. But also decides to go in and interrupt the property capture over here, doing a 7-6 trade, which is not too shabby, and is going to be acquiring his comm tower here very soon. So recon takes a defensive position, hiding in the forest. I think that is a fair spot to be. You don't really know if your opponent has a tank on the way, so I think that's a pretty good spot for now. Alrighty, folks, Mooji's turn on day 8 here. We move in, occupy a forest, start a cap on 7 HP with our infantry. Does see that the opponent, achesst, has an infantry in position ready to go. So I believe we are going to be seeing another interrupt here very, very soon. Especially because achesst is about to acquire his comm tower, making Von Bolt 120% firepower over 110% defense, which is very dangerous indeed. That's going to put Von Bolt in a territory where Hawk will just not be. So Hawk will be able to acquire the comm tower and have 120% firepower, but he will not have the extra defense. So when we're in a situation where you're attacking something on 3-star terrain, such as a city, we are not going to be able to effectively 2-hit KO those units. So that is going to be very, very dangerous. However, we are acquiring a property in the middle here, which is pretty cool for achesst. So Mooji now needs to make some plays happen here. So both players are looping around back to cap the furthest back property over here. Definitely the hardest property to get. So we are going for that next. So we take a double attack on this infantry over here, which is pretty good. Oh, not a double attack. We just do a single attack, and then we interrupt the cap further. Unfortunately, this time the trade was not in Mooji's favor. Actually ends up taking 6 damage in retaliation, which is very unfortunate. Builds another recon. So now we have 2 recons on the field. Both players have built a battlecopter, and things are heating up quite a bit on day 9 here. We finish off a capture in the middle, going for another capture. And we have actually spotted something incredibly vital on this map, folks. So we have noticed that Mooji has not actually acquired this property right here, which means that if achesst holds the line and captures these properties here, it is going to put him ahead overall in captures. So that is very, very good. Very good indeed. Provided we can interrupt the capture on the city for a little bit longer. But we do shift our units over here to this side to allow for that to happen. Mooji does not have a whole lot of vision here, so I can see some things happening here. Okay, so we go up, we attack one of the infantry, which is great. Attack another infantry. Still don't have vision on the city, so we're not going to be able to further attack that unless we move, which we do, and we attack. Beautiful. Backed up by a tank, backed up by a battlecopter. Not quite in position yet, but is in position to interrupt the capture if achesst decides to go in and attack, or begin the capture there. So we're gonna see if he goes in for it pretty soon here, folks. Ooh, Mooji going in for an attack on the infantry, taking it out. Sits the tank firmly on the city, but has absolutely no idea what lies in the shade, folks. There is a sneaky little devastating double hit that can happen here, which will be incredibly devastating for Mooji if it does go through. And it very likely is gonna happen. Yes. Oh dearest folks, we have a 80% attack on a tank from an artillery. That is absolutely devastating, folks. Absolutely devastating. Okay. We don't go in for the double attack with the tank, though. We bring the other tank over here. We sit it in the forest, so we are being very cautious with our tanks. We do go in and attempt to get a luck roll on the tank, but only takes it down to 1, unfortunately, so we don't get the clear. Very nice. So achesst builds the anti-air, so he is predicting the battlecopters to be coming out here pretty soon. Mooji is doubling down on his battlecopter builds at the moment. He's got 2 on the field here, which is fantastic. Ooh, brings the battlecopter up and attacks the cap and infantry, taking it out, and then begins his own capture here, which is fantastic. Absolutely gorgeous. Backs up his battlecopter with his own and brings another tank into position here. Alright, so achesst did manage to get a little bit of early blood over here on the attack, but Mooji just completely counters, comes over here and does a big strike. So that is very nice. However, achesst once again with that 120% firepower bonus comes in and does a massive attack. We attacked a tank, we attacked another tank, we attacked the battlecopter. Things are looking pretty grim over there for Mooji on that front. Now, is this the end of the game? Absolutely not, folks. Absolutely not. Fog of War, things can change in an instant. You just never know. You never know what people got in the shade, folks, and it is very easy to misplay in Fog of War. Now, Mooji does the very intelligent thing here and gets vision on the mountain with his 1 HP infantry, which is fantastic. It would be nice if he acquired moved another infantry onto the mountain here in order to get even more vision. That would be fantastic. Vision, absolutely critical in Fog of War. Information gathering is absolutely critical. You need to know what is going on. 100%, folks. And this battlecopter chain coming in from Mooji is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So we are covering every single battlecopter. Now, achesst has absolutely no answer to the battlecopter chain that is coming in the shade here. We have 2 battlecopters that are still relatively full HP and no counter. Now, mooji doesn't know that. He doesn't know. He has no idea. For all he knows, he could have 2 anti-air right in the shade, right out of sight. But he does not know, right? So he's moving in, and he's doing the best attacks that he can think of at the time with the available information. Now, achesst, 4 bars charge of the Ex Machina at the moment, but mooji is very, very close to having at least his normal co-power at the moment. So normal co-power as Hawk is still very, very effective. It's just not as effective as the Black Storm. So the 2 HP is far more devastating than 1. So unless you're actually going to get some massive value out of the 1 HP global damage from Hawk, I would definitely suggest in the vast majority of cases, just wait for Black Storm. That is definitely the way you want to go. So it doesn't go for this proper down here because that is a overextension and you don't know it would probably just be interrupted. So definitely going for the guaranteed capture over here. Very, very advisable, folks. Very advisable. All right, so the rest of his units are just going to shift around. I think we're going to see the battlecopter move in. Yeah, so battlecopter is moving in to cover the other battlecopter once again here. So very, very good play. So typically, whenever you see a Hawk versus a Von Bolt matchup, normally Von Bolt will just be able to bully Hawk like the vast majority of the game because of the defense bonus. But in this game, we're actually seeing mooji do quite a bit of attacks over here and do quite a bit of damage. But achesst is overall winning at the moment. So the bully game is definitely real. The defense definitely plays a massive, massive role. But unless he gets the battle or the anti-airs in position, once again, these battlecopters are just going to be able to run circles around achesst's army at the moment. So we do have 1 anti-air in position now. So that is very, very good. Are we going to get... The second one is going to be able to get into the fray here next turn. So depending on what mooji decides to do here, and then in this turn, will probably determine like greatly the outcome of the battle here. So I think this turn, oh, we use the Black Wave. We use the Black Wave. We get the +1 healing, and we do the 1 damage globally. Okay, very interesting. So I'm very curious to see what the plan is with this Black Wave. Are we going to be able to get enough hits to make it worth it? We might. Oh, there could be a double hit. It could be a double hit right here. We could go 8 full HP, take this guy out, and then move him with the tanks and do a double hit on these tanks. That could be very good. Now, let's see if that's going to be one of the plays here. Alright, so that's definitely not a play. So we don't go in with the 8 HP, but go in with these 2 infantry. Definitely a better strategy that is more guaranteed to get the KOs. And we do get a KO on both of the tanks. So mooji, wonderful play right there, but does... leave his army pretty exposed here for the Ex Machina. So if there is a possibility for achesst to get 3 whole bars of charge this turn, the Ex Machina would hit right here, and it would be brutal. Now, I do not think that there's 27,000 battle damage available right now. The only way to do it would be to sack almost your entire army, and at that point, there's not really any point to do it. The only character that you can effectively do something like that with would be Eagle for the lightning strike. But for somebody like Von Bolt, not necessarily the best thing. Because the other thing is now Von Bolt, his co-power will actually stun your own units. So if you misplay and you put a bunch of your units by your opponent's units, well then you might get hit and you might suffer the consequences of your overextension, so to speak. So might not necessarily want to be doing that. Okay, so go up, attack the lab capture, and we just do a couple attacks here. So not really too bad of an attack. We did some damage. Was not too bad in the long run. Lots and lots of Von Bolt's units are still sitting at 9 HP. And does actually go up and attempt to flip this property right here. Not gonna happen for sure. Now this property and this property right here, these are the 2 properties that are incredibly difficult to flip, because normally in the average game, you have an army sitting here just like this, and then fighting is happening somewhere else. So you have two armies that are just sort of looking at each other, and then all the fighting is just happening on the other side. So yeah, that tends to be what happens on this map. Now, ooh, okay, we are definitely going to be seeing an Ex Machina in this turn, so I'm very curious to see where it is going to hit. The other nice thing about this is, like, this could potentially be a nice area to bait an Ex Machina, but all in all, you want to try to do something like this. So Mooji busting out with the classy medium tank with the sole purpose of soaking up an Ex Machina right here. So that's the goal. We're going to try to... Oh, excuse me. We're going to try to soak up an Ex Machina right there so it stays away from our front line. So if it works... I think Mooji is going to be in a very good position here. So let's see where the Ex Machina goes. We head over there, folks. That is not where achesst wanted the Ex Machina to go. Now, if the Ex Machina hit here, that would have been amazing, but it didn't, unfortunately. So now he's going to suffer a little bit with that, but he might be able to counterattack. Might be able to counter this. So he doesn't see that the Ex Machina hit here either. So achesst, incredibly smart player, knows what's happening right now. He knows that Mooji has just baited the Ex Machina in the back somewhere. So at the very least, what he knows is he's gonna have at least a gap in the reinforcements, right? So if he is able to at least effectively, like, mostly fight off this side over here, he might be able to stay in the game. Like, there's definitely a possibility he can stay in the game if he can fight off this little army here, because like I said, the reinforcements are definitely going to be shaken up a little bit here, so they're not going to be there right away. Now, they are going to be there eventually, and normally people tend to build the classy boy as a bait for the Ex Machina. Some people will build the old stinky boy, some people will be wild and build like a mega tank, a mega boy, but most of the time it's classy boy that ends up soaking up the Ex Machina. Or you could be like me and just completely forget that you're fighting Von Bolt sometimes, and then just get hit by an Ex Machina and then be like, oh wow, that was fun. Alright, folks. Nice little hit on this tank here. So like I said, okay, like I said, the reinforcements, they're not here, they're not coming. So achesst is able to take advantage of that because Mooji did not fully retreat. Now, we are seeing the results of that right here. So Mooji manages to do a nice, or not Mooji, achesst decides to do a nice push, taking out many of Mooji's units. But Mooji has the Black Storm once again, or the Black Wave. So we could potentially pop the Black Wave, but I don't see the value in popping the Black Wave at the moment. The only thing the Black Wave is going to do is it's just going to delay achesst a little bit. I think waiting until your reinforcements get there and then popping a high value Black Wave is definitely the way to go. Huge overextension from the battlecopter over here. Moves all the way over here to take out a 7 HP battlecopter. That is adventurous. That is adventurous for sure. Pops his way right into the face of an anti-air, but does have a tank here to attack the anti-air. So there is a realm where this tank moves up and takes that strike. Can it take the strike? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, it can't. It can't unless we take out this infantry, which is possible. Could take out the infantry by using tank and 7 HP infantry. That should potentially clear that. Are we going to see that, though? That's the question. I'm not too sure. Oh, attack a recon. Oh, boy. Here we go. Here we go. So we don't go up for the anti-air strike. Anti-air strike was definitely a major overextension. But we go in and we attack the recon. But like I said, we're getting so close to that Black Storm, folks. We are gonna be seeing that 2 damage global very, very soon. Ooh, and after all this, like, the game is pretty even when it comes to value. Now, achesst is a little bit behind Once the Black Storm hits, mooji is going to have a commanding lead at that point, especially because he's got the classy boy on the field at the moment. Now, achesst going up, attempting to flip one of the properties once again. The artillery stare down on this map is something that just happens all the time. You always see this little artillery stare down over here. One player tries to flip this property, and the artillery just fires. Now, this happened a lot in the game that I covered on the Clone Andy test. My opponent and I, it basically looked like this, and the fighting all happened over here. That's exactly how it went every single time. Okay, so, okay, mooji is going in with his battlecopter, folks. He is going in. He is going to town. Bringing the rest of his units forward, waiting for the Black Storm to launch a massive attack. Okay, we are going to be seeing something pretty big here in the next few days. Oh, achesst goes up with 3 tanks to take out that infantry and interrupt this infantry over here. Holy moly. All right, we are investing a lot of tanks over here. Now, this is a crazy place. So now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 full HP tanks, 2 anti-air, and 2 injured tanks. But once again, Black Storm is about to hit. So all these tanks are going to be taken down to 8 here very, very soon. Oh, and the classy boy goes in, takes the attack, and gets the Black Storm. We are seeing the 2 damage globally. Oh my god. 111,000 value on the dot, taken down to 86,600. Now, let's see what the counter, let's see what the follow-up to this move is here. Alright, we move the anti-air in, we move the tank in, and we take out that pesky artillery. Oh my lord, the artillery has been taken out, folks, and we are nowhere close to an Ex Machina at the moment. And we did multiple attacks on tanks over here. 2 tanks, or 1 tank at least, right? We took out an anti-air, but oh my god, that tank got hit. He got hit hard, folks. He is not feeling too good about himself at the moment. Alright. Builds multiple units now. It's a battlecopter, artillery, tank, infantry to back that up. mooji is in a very good spot at the moment. Achesst is going to be struggling to keep up now at the moment. So, once again, though, achesst, incredible player. You know, incredible player. And this is Fog of War. You never know what's going to happen in Fog of War, folks. achesst busts out the classy medium tank, folks. That is what I'm talking about. And because he has busted open the pipe seam several days ago, he is able to get this medium tank into the fray a lot quicker than his counterpart over here, who has not even touched the pipe seam, despite building this artillery on like day 4 or something like that. So, very nice, folks. All right, so doesn't know versus in, doesn't know what's in the shade. Very good. Going for the simple cap over on the left-hand side of the map here. And brings the classy medium tank into the middle over here. How much do we need? Yeah, that is far too much. We are not going to be seeing another Ex Machina this turn. We are going to have to wait quite some time before we see it. Brings 2 tanks up to interrupt the cap on this property. And this guy is going down to 4. So we're not going to see any properties be flipped just yet. Oh my, just bringing over like everything. It doesn't, oh, he knows too. He knows there's a tank right there. Oh dear, oh dearest me. Oh, we are going to be losing 2 tanks this turn. Oh, and a battlecopter. Ooh, that's a big hit. That is a big hit, but there's a big Ex Machina coming up here pretty soon. Okay. Once again, set up the bait for the Ex Machina. Double battlecopter. Yeah, it's gonna hit right there. That's where it's gonna hit. Yep. Ooh. Nice bait. Nice bait once again, folks. Yeah. mooji, just what a guy. What a planner, man. He's just able to plan these things out, like, so well. Even though both of these players are basically on increment. Like, they are sitting under, like 2 minutes, and they're able to plan these things out. Like, it's wild. It's amazing. It just shows that you know, people that have played this game for so long and that play at such a level, they're just able to think and react and just do things so quickly that, you know, just mere mortal people just have trouble keeping up, folks. They have trouble keeping up. Same with achesst, though. He's such a quick thinker, you know. He's an amazing player. Unfortunately, he has a loss of this game here today, but I have a feeling that he's going to climb super high in the live league because he is just an amazing competitor. But mooji6 is quite the force to be reckoned with in live league. What a match. Congratulations to Mooji on the win, and well played, achesst. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one today. What a match. It was a good one. And if you did like it, consider leaving a like, a comment, or a subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.